What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is the early Monday night call, and it's the shorter, earlier version. You know, we keep there's so little to do. There's not much to talk about unless I want to bitch and moan all the time. You know, I'm just a bitch anyway, so I'll just wait for my regular bitch and the ones I already used up on the way here. But you know, the student loan debt. Did you see AOC last week? You know, she owns a lot under student loans, so of course she wants to waive it. She makes $220,000 a year, whatever it is. Got 2 raises. Drives a Tesla, yells at Elon Musk, and she wants her no student loan. Wonderful, isn't it? Isn't that great? Isn't that great for you, for us, that those assholes have control like that? Anyways, to all my military and public servants, as always, I thank you. Again, as much as I bitch and moan, and I'm very unhappy with a lot of things that are going on in this country, I can never be unhappy about you because you guys only follow orders, you guys and girls. Again, when I say guys, I mean everybody, so don't think I'm slighting anybody because I got a couple of, I think I have half a dozen female colonels on this call. Okay. So, you know, again, but the bottom line is they follow orders. Okay. So they don't get a choice. Their opinion does not count, just like our opinion doesn't count in the markets. But thank you. This country would be, can you imagine where we'd be if we didn't have them? Maybe. Anyways, in the meantime, just say no to economic slavery. Now, do you guys not see what's going on with this economy? Do you not see the crap that they're feeding you? Okay, and the BS lines that they're feeding you? Am I the only one who's affected how much money I spend at the grocery store? Now, unfortunately, I can afford it. Okay, but I'm certainly not happy about it, and I'm not happy about it. Why? Okay, because I'm not happy about it for those who can't afford it. Okay, look, I can afford it. I can buy whatever I want, but I don't want people to suffer and struggle for no reason. And that's what we're doing to them. Okay. For what? So these assholes can get a little more tax money or put more in their campaign coffers? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Okay. You tell me. Okay. Anyways, the U.S. has no clear achievable goal in Ukraine, nor does anyone else. Well, again, I told you what the goal is. They want to make money. This is all about profit now. This has nothing to do with any conflict, any bullshit. This is all about rebuilding. It's all about sending them our money so that these guys can line their pockets with our money. Because we're the ones who are giving them money. We don't get any say-so in it, but we're the ones that pay the money that gets there. Remember, government makes no money. Okay? They make debt. Okay? And you get the privilege of paying that debt. Central banks won't save us this time. And they won't, because I told you, you're hearing it already. Okay? Did you see that the emergency lending rate is at the highest it's ever been? That's banks borrowing from the Federal Reserve. Emergency lending, it's called. The highest it has ever been. What does that tell you about the shape of the banks? So they can feed me the crap all day long, how these banks pass the stress test. You remember, you heard it here on the Monday night call. I don't know, this might be the 30th time I said it. There ain't no way that if you took in a real auditor that any of these banks or most of them would be able to pass. They're all over leveraged to the hilt. China's economy is sick and could infect the U.S. Well, naturally going to affect the U.S. because we're too interlinked, which is why I don't like being so interlinked to other countries. We can stand alone. We do have enough natural resources and enough labor here. And if you had to pay a few cents more for a product, but you can make more money and know it was made in USA, wouldn't you do it? Okay. What will Jackson Hole bring? God, I perish the thought. But I think that, what is it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Whatever it is, it ain't going to be good. It's going to be a bunch of big jackasses. No, we started early today, Cap. You know, just like your airline, okay? I called start time at 3 o'clock, but all my flight attendants were here, and we started on time. I didn't have to sit out in the lobby waiting for a flight attendant to show up because you have to have 4 to get to load a plane. How's that? FAA regulations. I have no idea what they're going to bring at Jackson Hole, but it cannot be good, whatever it's going to be. Okay, it's a bunch of wealthy business guys in the Federal Reserve. Okay. In the meantime, the words of wisdom from our friend Connie. You sent me an extra one, so I didn't use it this week. I used this week's next week, if you remember. Otherwise, I'll use the next one. But anyways, your path is at your feet, whether you realize it or not. Okay, you have control over your path. Now, you know it's not a straight line wherever you're going. Listen, you can start with your marriage if you're married. You can start with a relationship if you're in a relationship. You can start with your friends. Is every day Christmas? is every day we're always happy and ready to go. And if he says that, I'd have to put him on a lie detector test, okay, and think that they were kind of fibbing a little bit. All right, we all know that there's bumps in the road, but you are in control of your path if you take advantage of it. And of course, the State of the Union. Okay, if we can put serial numbers on every bill, we can put one on every ballot. You tell me, why is it okay that somebody can walk in with no identification and vote? Please help me with that. Okay. For all of those of you who supported Biden, tell me where that is fair that somebody who has no identification can walk in and vote. Okay. Just please help me with that. Okay. Why can't we have serial numbers on ballots? Why can't we make it a process of reality instead of bullshit? Okay. A government that forces you to account for them the way you spend your money, but refuse to be accountable how they spend your money should be immediately replaced. Well, what have we said for every week forever? Okay. Again, I don't like giving my money to someone who's going to piss it away. Somebody needs it and going to use it. It's like a bum on the street, who wants to go out and buy a bottle of booze. I'm not going to buy him a bottle of booze. I'll buy him a dinner. I'm not going to buy him booze. Want to eat? I offered many times. You want to eat? I'll get you McDonald's. But I ain't giving you the money for booze. Okay. I'd never make a communist. No. I'm a capitalist, baby. I want everybody to be a capitalist. I want everybody to have opportunity to go next. Okay. Thank God. Okay. Voter ID is racist. It's funny. I did, my Bubba's Bottom Line this week. And I asked, I'm supporting Vivek Ramaswamy, however you pronounce his name. So somebody sends in, is he a natural born citizen? Isn't that the law? You have to be a natural born citizen to run for president? Okay. No, both sides are shit. Okay. I'm not defending any party. Okay. Mitch McConnell's as bad as anybody else. If I knew all the names off the top of my head, I could name them, but I don't like any of them. Okay. I want a real government, not a government that's got their hand in my pockets every day. Okay. In the meantime, I've been bitching for an hour, but I get one more. And of course, what would that be today? The deep state. Okay. Okay. Obama wasn't what? Again, I'm not getting into that. Okay. I refuse to get into that debate. Okay. The bottom line is it said he was, and he got elected. Okay. I can't get into that. That's not my thing, but I can't get into the deep state. And if you don't believe the deep state exists, you better think again, because who controls the country? Okay. At all times, basically, except when Trump was in office, and not because Trump was so great or not so great, but because the deep state didn't want him to get the money. They didn't want him in. I mean, the perfect example, you don't think Warren Buffett has a lot to say on what goes on? Okay. You don't think Warren Buffett has a lot to say on what goes on? All right. And at the end of the day, when Trump, he donated nothing to Trump's campaign. But every other election in history, he's donated to both parties equally. So think about it. Okay. In the meantime, let's get to work. Okay. I've had my say so. All right. In the meantime, so as we look at the indexes, the Dow, well, we're short. Okay, and with good reason, and certainly it wasn't very powerful today. It did get, I think, pulled up by the S&P and the NASDAQ. Okay, today, but overall, I think you want to look for a spot to sell. I think right now, if I'm looking at this chart, I want to sell at 35,000, maybe sooner, but for now, 35,000, and I'm not at all surprised that we got to bounce off of 34,000. Okay, 34.3, whatever. I think right now, you look at levels, 33.8. to 35,000. Okay, that's where I'd be watching. But I am not a buyer on a big scale. I'd be a buyer, in my day trading in the morning on futures for an hour or whatever, however long it is, with a stop. But overall, I'm a seller. I'm looking for a spot to sell. Okay. Is there a derivative that can be traded to offset student loan debts? No. But they're not gonna get through. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay. The S&P Echo Sierra, very similar chart, but they were much stronger. Okay. They were much stronger than the Dow and the Russell. Okay. And they were up, 36 points, 26 points, whatever. Now, again, This is nothing more than a dead cat bounce. I'd be looking at 44.60 or 44.55, 44.60 use Connie. And I think that, here's some support, but I ain't a buyer here. 43.60. Okay. I'm a seller, but I'm never going to intentionally sell into the bottom, into the hole. Okay. Even if it works, just because a trade works doesn't mean it was the right trade. Doesn't mean it was a good trade. You can get lucky with a crappy trade. Okay. Did I sell 50? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, what do you think? Okay. I was at a funeral. You saw my mess. I was selling from there. Anyways, I think you're 43.60 to 44.60. Okay. I got to give you wider ranges because there's thinner markets. They move a little bit faster when there's nothing in the way. The Nasdaq had a pretty juicy move, but look at where it bounced from. Again, this should be anybody who's been through any of the training that I do should not be at all surprised. Vivek was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you. Okay. Look, I respect the hell out of him. Okay. I think says he's not a politician, or maybe I don't hope he doesn't turn into one. Because Jerome Powell, I thought, was a great candidate. Then he turned into a moron when he went to the Fed. Right? He was a regular guy until he got to the Federal Reserve. Anyways, so this is a natural bounce, no big deal. Okay, I still say that the overall support, the next real level is 14.3, and of course the captain just gave you the level of 15,000 is the sell point. And I agree. Okay, 15,000. Oops, a little bit too high. 15,000. Okay, and I would sell there too. Okay, I would take my chances. Okay, to me, this rally is going to fail. Okay, and not because I'm negative, it's because the markets are headed south, and rallies are meant to be sold until they prove to you otherwise. Okay. The Russell, Romeo Tango Yankee, same thing, right? We didn't quite make all the way down here, but look at how far it has fallen. Don't you think? Now, I would venture to say we had a nice rally or a solid rally on Friday in the Russell. You could see, let's use 1840 as support. Okay, but I would not be surprised. Although there's resistance at 1875, I would not be surprised if we got over 1900 for a couple days. Again, I'm warning you now. Okay, I want you to understand this very clearly. Okay, that when the markets are as thin as they are right now and is lacking liquidity as much as they are right now, that anything can move farther and faster than you think. And certainly, if you look at this pattern. And you remember, we pointed on the way up, right? When they go up too fast, what do we tell you? They're probably going to sell up. Well, let's look at this and compare it to what happened here. Okay, very similar. And look what happened. Boom. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm telling you to be on the lookout and be ready. Okay. When's NVIDIA's earnings? Wednesday? Okay. And I don't really give a shit. Okay. But tell me though, I'm curious. Wednesday, I'm curious, but I don't really care. At the end of the day, you can assume. Now, you're not going to buy for this rally. Your objective, Mr. Phelps, okay, Mission Impossible reference, if you choose to accept it, is to look for an opportunity to sell it. But not sell it here. This is not a spot you sell. Even if it goes straight down from here, this is not a spot you want to sell. You need to find a resistance level to sell it. And right now, I can tell you that I can see resistance at 1875, but it would not shock me at all if you got a 500-point rally in this thing just because of how oversold it is. Okay, and if you don't believe me, here for you Bollinger Band fans, which I am not. I mean, they're good. I understand them, but I don't need them. Okay, but for you guys, okay, do I even have them on anymore? I probably took them off. Here, I'll put them up for you because that's the kind of guy I am. Let's see, add study. It's been so long since I ever added anything. I can't remember. Okay, here you go. Here, see how oversold you are? See how the gap is widening between how the standard deviations are widening and the mean is falling? Again, you're going to get some retracement. And oh, geez, the retracement right now would be up to 1940. How about that? Okay. So again, just keep it in mind. Okay. And the VIX, well, kind of disappointing. I mean, the last 2 days in the VIX, look, we're going nowhere. This is the real problem. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the VIX isn't going for. First of all, the whole market structure has changed, right? You have to remember that you want to price in volatility compared to what the markets are now. With the extended hours, with the circuit breakers, with all the other things, you very rarely get those big spikes in volatility, and you very rarely get consistent longer term volatility like you used to get. Because again, all these things, all the information has changed a lot of the game. It's the same thing if you're a sports bettor. Okay. The markets are much more efficient now. And only when you can catch a story on Twitter ahead of the bookmakers can you catch game. Only when you can catch something truly ahead. And the only way you can really catch that here is by reading the price action. And the price action to me looks like volatility wants to take a head down south again, but we'll see. In the meantime, Apple, Alpha Alpha Papa Lima. Now we're short Apple. Look, went right to where we thought. Okay. We said last week, well, 170, 170, 250, bang, right in the middle. Okay. So where we go now? Well, I certainly 180, they'll get a handful from me. Okay. I'll be happy to sell at 180. I think you might want to see, look at 177.50. And I'm not encouraging you to run in a short, but again, a natural bounce, not really enough to be a blow off. So I can't really get excited about it, but certainly I would look to sell it. And how would I look to sell it? Well, if you understand options, I would be a spread seller. I'm not looking to take massive amounts of risk here. Okay. I want to create a position, which is what we do every Saturday. We create positions that give us better returns, better results with a lot less heartburn. Okay. In the meantime, 170 to 180, Connie. Alpha Golf, we carry no position, and this is getting just slaughtered again. But remember, before when we had this big news back here, remember that day? That was a Monday after the close, and here we are. We're still holding up to it. And I could make a case, and if I'm right on silver, this is going to be $11, $12 at the end of the year. Now, this is purely speculation. You want to gamble? This is what you can gamble on. If you feel compelled that you have to be in the market, here, trade Alpha Golf if you like silver. Okay, because to me, this could be $15, $20 if we get the kind of movement in silver that I'm looking for. If we don't, I'm going to lose money. But in the meantime, I don't have to sell it, and it ain't going too much lower. I mean, could it go to 4? Could it go to 5, 3? It could go anywhere. I don't know, but I have never seen it below 5. I'm sure it's been there, but I haven't seen it. Okay. So again, for me, if you want to gamble, this is where I'm gambling. Okay. I own a lot of this. Okay. And the levels kind of 550, 650. Okay. I have to be wider because again, the thinness of these markets is going to be pandemonium. Amazon, Alpha Michael Zulu November, which we are still long. And again, with good reason. It hasn't broken down. Look at the pattern. So basically what you do, you went from a big charge up, you're now consolidated, then you had a big gap up on earnings, and it's just relieving that gap. But where are we? We're coming right back down to support. Probably, I use 130 to 140 here. 130 to 140. And if you want to get a better perspective, okay, and where I come up with numbers, and I kind of know these in my mind. I don't look at these, but I can kind of see the way the stock is trading. Okay. And the expectation of movement in the stock is $4 either way. Okay. And that's on low volatility. $4 either way. Okay. From here brings us down below 130 up to 136. So again, if I'm right on trend, then it should take 140 could come into play. Okay. Bido, Bravo, Indio, Tango, Oscar. Now, we don't trade this anywhere. This is purely for those of you who are afraid to speculate on cryptocurrency or Bitcoin at the Coinbases of the world, or the Binance, any of the names of those places. If you're afraid of those, but you want to participate, this is the only ETF that is purely based on on Bitcoin, actually. Okay. There is no backwardation in contango in this yet. There is nothing to worry about from a pure trading standpoint. If you want to own those, this is the way you own them. If you're afraid of their other stuff. Now, and I'm not encouraging you to go buy it, but I am a believer, and I told you that I have X amount of dollars that I've committed to this. And if it goes to zero, it'll go to zero. It's not going to change my life one way or the other. Okay. In the meantime, there really is no support. I mean, if this were a normal stock, okay, tell this happened. Shit. If this were a stock, okay, that I was trading, I'd be looking to sell it. Okay. But first of all, I don't have a big affinity to sell stocks at $14. But I'm never shorting, straight outright shorting a product that A, trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and B, could be up 5,000 points tomorrow. This could be up, $5 tomorrow. I don't get involved in those. I try to stay away from those types of products. Okay. In the meantime, 13 is probably pretty much a big number. 13 to 15. Okay. BitQ, which is the other one, as I told you last week, If it went below 9 and below 850, I was dumping part of it, and I did. Okay, so I still own a bunch from the 320, 330 level, and I've traded it very well on the way up. Now, again, if this gets down to $7, I will probably reload again. Okay, because again, this is tied to Bitcoin. We don't trade it anywhere. This is just, again, I throw in some speculative trades that I trade myself. I give you full disclosure so you know what I'm doing. Okay. And these I don't trade options. I buy the stock. Okay. I'm not, $7 is like an option. Okay. And again, at $7, I'm going to probably reload. Okay. I'll see. I got to see the action at 7, but right now my tentative plan is to reload up at about $7. Okay. And for today, 7 to 8 would be the levels I'd be watching. Okay. Coin, Charlie, Oscar, India, November, which we're short, and I own it in my hedging account, a lot of it. But in the meantime, you got hammered, a little bit of a bounce. And again, no different than anything else. Go straight down. You expect the bounce to come. I think your resistance is going to be right around 80. Okay. And I think you're looking at 65 to 80. Okay. And I would suspect that we're going to see a lot more volatility in coin coming up here. If this is going to keep going down, because you know, and maybe you don't know, but here, the expected move for this week is $6 for the next 4 days in a slow period, $8 the following week. Okay, that's either way. So that's like 10. Okay. But what you don't realize is how fast these things can move. Okay. If you get caught, so to speak, speeding. Okay. So you want to be prepared for what can happen. And you want to look at the chart and follow the footprint and have an idea of where you expect it to go in either direction, and then look at the decision you're going to make. Okay. You got it, buddy. Thanks, Randall. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. In the meantime, Meta, Michael Echo Tango Alpha. Well, if I was a pilot, I'd just crash the plane. Anyways, the old Facebook, look at this. Still, we don't trade it, but still solidly in an uptrend. Yeah, it came down a little bit. Look at right to support. We could make the case that it's really in consolidation between 290 or so, a little bit below, and 315. Okay, 290, 315. What's wrong with that? Yeah, look at it. Stock went from $90, actually down to 80. Yeah. Again, there's no reason to sell it here. Certainly, look, you want to trade the range. This is a wide enough range to change. Sure, you get to 315, 320, sell it if you want. Again, right now there's nothing to do down here unless you're a buyer. You can only legitimately, if you're looking at the chart, you can only be a buyer right here. Google Golf Oscar Golf Lima, which we are still on. Okay, and I mean, look at the stock. It is holding. Now here's a very key spot we just came into. It broke the support line, but again, one day is not a story told. Okay, we do have what they call false breakouts in either direction. So right now, we're still long. For now, this really just filled this little bit of a gap that it left. Okay, and it's probably clear selling. If we rally again tomorrow, I would venture this to be up again tomorrow. Okay, in the meantime, for today, 125 to 134. 125 to 134. GLD, Golf Lima Delta. We're short. It continues to go lower. Now, very interesting thing happening right here. Okay. So those who've been with me the longest know what I'm looking at right there. Right? What would I call that right now? What would I call it right now? Anybody know what I'm looking at right here? What I'm thinking? Okay. I'm thinking this looks like it wants to make like a rounding bottom. Okay. And the very fact that it's been able to hold up here on the support, this looks like, now again, there's going to be a rally either way. Okay. But this looks like it could be some solid bottoming action. I'm not predicting it. I am short. Of course, I'm wanting a lot of physical. In the meantime, it does look like 175 is pretty solid support. And I think you're looking at 180 as resistance. Okay. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if it went from 175 to 180 and then fell apart. Okay. IWM, India Whiskey Michael, excuse me. This is, we're short. Okay. This doesn't look very good. Now, again, it has held. It had a nice little pop and it held here. But again, I would suspect that your true support is around 180. I think your true resistance is around 190. And I think that's how we play it. And I think if you were looking to maybe short it, you could look at 185 tomorrow if you wanted. Again, I'm giving you wide ranges. Okay. Well, first of all, triple bottom, maybe. But again, it's in a downtrend right now. I'm not real enthused when it starts breaking down. I mean, there's a better case, which I wouldn't have called this either, for a double top here. But of course, that double tops work better in a market that's trending lower, and double bottoms or triple bottoms work better in a market that's trending higher. Right now, this is not trending higher. Okay. Depending on what time frame you want to look at, right? And how you feeling, by the way. Okay. I got your note the other day. Not again, not this again. You can pick your time frame. You said I'm looking at this on a yearly basis. Well, yeah, it is an uptrend because it's always been an uptrend. Okay. In the meantime, Microsoft, Michael Sierra, Foxtrot, Tango, okay, which were short, and of course, naturally, a lot of the Nasdaq stocks rallied big today. Not a concern. Look, it only rallied right into resistance. Right now, I give you right now, 325 is resistance. Support is 310. 310 to 325. Okay. Nugget, November Uniform Golf, Tango. Weesh. Now again, this is also making a little bit of a rounding bottom, maybe a little bit more pronounced. Maybe it's more of a fish hook kind of thing. Again, look, if you said to me, you got to gamble tomorrow, be long or short gold from here, I'm going to be long. If you're going to tell me I have to make a trade, I'm not making any trade other than the physical gold I bought and the shorts that I have. But other than that, I'm not looking to make a trade. But you said to me, I can make a better case that I have a much higher probability of making profit to the upside than to the downside. Okay. In the meantime, support's probably, let's say 26. Okay. I think your resistance is about 32. Okay. NVIDIA, which we can't do anything with it. They got earnings coming out Wednesday morning, I guess it is. It's really just in consolidation. Okay. It's really just 400 to 470 or whatever it is, 480. And look, it's all going to come down to what they do in earnings. Certainly it looks like they want to pop it. Now, I'm telling you right now, if they get this thing up a lot more tomorrow, okay, like we're up, what, 30 bucks today, 40 bucks? If this thing gets, I'll give you the number. If this thing gets to 500 tomorrow, you can make book on it that I got a short position in there. With everything come out, that I'll be short spreads going into that. If it gets to 500 before earnings, I have short spreads on. And what are they expecting for movement? Hold on. Let me see this. NVIDIA. They are expecting $51. So there's a good chance it can see 500. If it gets to 500 before earnings, I will be getting shorted at 500. You can mark that down on your calendar right now. I will be selling call spreads. I can't tell you what they would be right now, but I'd be selling call spreads. Okay. In the meantime, for today, 400 to 475, but really, you should not be trading this unless you have a plan as to what you think and what you want to do with it. Okay, but other than that, you got earnings coming out Wednesday morning, so why get in the way unless there's a reason? The Qs, Quebec. Obviously, nice little rally the last couple of days, but I would suspect this is going to end. We're still short. I think the trend is lower, and I think that you can certainly look at 372 as resistance. Your support's about 350, pretty big range. Wow. But of course, that's why the volatility is much higher in the Qs than it is anywhere else. Okay. Sierra, Quebec, Square Dance, block. Okay, we're still short. And again, here it is. Look at that. Went right down on a spike to the bottom, came right back up. No bottom, nothing we could do with it. And here you are. So where is the true resistance? I think your real resistance is at 60. Okay, but I think you get back up, and I would sell it at 60, although I own it in my hedging account. But I think here you've got real heavy resistance here, and I would certainly be ready to sell at 60, and then again at 62.50. For Square, would you sell a 65 put for October 20th at this point? Never. You mean naked? Would I sell one naked? Never, ever. I don't sell naked. I can create the same position a hell of a lot better with a hell of a lot less risk. Okay. I don't ever sell naked options. That's for fools. Okay. Okay. I don't do that. I know many of you do, but to me, I can create a much better trade here. I'll just give you real quick. Okay. I'll give you a quick education. Okay. If you sell a 65, you got to put up $6,500. It's like owning a stock. You sell a naked put. Okay. Versus Okay. If I wanted it to create that same position, let's do it for the 15th. Okay. It doesn't matter. But so I want to sell a vertical. Sell vertical. A vertical 65. And I would say by the 50. Okay. So you're putting up 6,500. I'm putting up 1,500. Okay. And you're getting a credit of about $8. I'm getting a credit of $7.32. But I'm putting up 1/4 of the money you're putting up, which is a better trade. Anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Did I give you levels there, Connie? 55 to 60, 62? I think I did. Okay. The SPY, Sierra Papa Yankee. Same thing. Again, it came right down to support, almost as if it was a gymnast getting a 10. Where's the resistance? Well, I think the resistance is pretty clear right here, 442. Okay. I think you're looking at 330 to 442. That was a cutlass, right? 442, 442, a goat. Anyways, 430 to 442. We were short Tesla. Now, for those of you who tune me in on Tuesdays, well, I'm looking at this. Where did that guy come from? Those who tune in on Tuesdays for the Tradier show, I said last week, I bet my ass that this thing trades back up to 230 before we get back together next Tuesday. Well, there it is. Okay. In the meantime, we're short. I would think that it looks like some supports at 225 or so. But I'm not a buyer at all. I would be a seller at 245. 245. Okay. When Whiskey Yankee, November. Look, we're still shorted. Okay, it's breaking down, and now this is an official breakdown. Doesn't mean it's going to keep going down from here, but this is an official breakdown. This broke down, okay, and it stayed down. So what are we looking for now? Well, you're looking for it to go lower because you're probably shorted. But now what you're looking for is where is the next logical spot that might bring in some support? Well, I could probably make a case for probably 90-ish and then 88. Okay. So for here, Connie, 88 to 98. Okay. 88 to 98. I better go there and gamble a bit because I own that stock too. Right, but you're paying 9% for portfolio margin. Margin is 9.25%. It's not like it was last year or the year before. XBI, X-ray Bravo Indian. Besides the fact that what I just showed you, and you know better, you know that I'm right because I'm putting up a lot less under any circumstances and getting almost the same credit with a lot less exposure under any circumstances. Is that not correct? CT, is that not correct, CT? XBI, in the meantime, this broke hard. Okay, now we don't carry a position here, but this looks like to be some support. I would more be looking for a sale at 80. Okay. I'm not a buyer at any price right now, but it is 76 to 80. XLE, X-ray Lima Echo, which we're long. Perfect pattern. Trended higher, going sideways in consolidation. The next move should be higher. It should take it probably to 92. I think you're 86 to 92. And Zoom. Well, they got earnings this week too, right? Is that right? Or where are they today? Were Zoom's earnings today? Did I miss it? Was I napping? Oh yeah. How about that? What's the stock doing? Is there nothing? Interesting enough. All right. Well, they're earnings for today. So bottom line, we don't trade it anywhere, but 64 to 70 would be I looking. 64 to 70. Yeah. You don't understand options. Okay. You don't know shit. Anyways, so at the end of the day, the markets are really bad. The trade is really bad. It's really poor. Okay, opportunity is very poor right now. And look, I'm not telling you not to trade. I'm telling you to be much more careful in when you do trade. I don't think that there's, when you lose opportunities, if you're playing the law of large numbers, okay, then you need more opportunities to make up for the losers that you're going to have. And when you lose that opportunity, it makes more sense to sit back more patiently. The 442 Cutlass was a dog. My 3 deuce 389. Okay, excuse me. I just remembered a number, 442, 442. That's all. Listen, my 1967 Camaro kicked your ass. So there you go. Red hat. Romeo Hotel. Romeo Hotel. Well, I would tell you this, that it is going straight down. I would not be shorting this now, son. If I were, I bet you're already short, but I would not be a seller of this now. I would look for this to rally. I'd love to sell it at maybe 380 or maybe 400. I'm not selling it at 344. That I can tell you. If I had a short position on, I'd be looking to protect it and make sure I got the money. Does that make sense? Anybody else? Pan. Oh, yeah. Papa Alpha November Whiskey. We used to cover that stock here. Palo Alto's Security. Oh, they had earnings today too, I guess. Or they have earnings in the morning? Obviously had earnings. So the stock is fine. Okay. This was actually, if you look at this, this was actually a cup and handle pattern that broke to the upside. It came down to support. I mean, this gap up, what am I going to tell you? I can't do anything with this. Right now, honestly, if I were going to make a trade here today, I'd be looking for a short to play the blow off. Okay. But I'm really not looking for anything. Okay. Does that make sense? Looks fine, but I don't, again, I can't trade, I can't chase it up $40. Okay. I got you. I know what you're doing. How much, your brother? Okay. I can't chase it up $40 and buy it. I can't chase the stock up 20%. Either it comes back down. If it goes to the moon without me, yeah, it'll go to the moon without me. It won't be the first time. Charlie Alpha Charlie India. Is that what that is? KC International. Not bad. I'm a little weak here. Look, if you're looking to buy it, I would look at 320, 325. If you're looking to buy it, I think it's reasonable. I think the chart looks okay. I think in any case, you get a dead cat bounce here at some point. I mean, it's certainly come down from 360 to 320 pretty quickly, right? That level cannot be held. I'd be a buyer for a trade anyways, if I traded it. Excuse me. ITB, India Tango Bravo. Looks pretty good too. Home builders. I mean, it broke support here, but there is pretty good support here, and it's still fairly solid. I listen. You say home builders, I say, how much can I sell myself? Okay, because I don't see it. Okay, I think the homes are going to. I think the housing market is going to collapse. But at the end of the day, you said I was going to buy this. I couldn't fault you. I mean, you're looking at a pretty good solid level. You had a pretty solid blow off to the downside. You held the support level. You bought this at 80 to 82. I couldn't fault you. Okay, I'd rather be short home builder right now, but certainly I can see the chart looks fine. And so I'm not going to infuse and tell you not to buy it. It looks fine to buy if that's what you want. Okay. Anybody got anything else I want me to look at while I'm here? Okay. But again, while I'm waiting for other selections, just be careful. Again, we don't have to be overly aggressive here. Remember, aggression does not always pay. It's sometimes better to wait, okay, and to be patient as to what you're waiting for. CVX, Charlie Victor X-ray. Well, look, it looks bad if you look at the big picture. If I look at the shorter picture, starting to look better, starting to show some consolidation here. If I were going to look at this stock, I wouldn't have a problem being a buyer at 155 or so. Okay. I wouldn't have a problem shorting it at 165 either. Okay. CCI. Wait. CCI, Charlie India. Crown Castle. Wait, oh. I can't buy this unless I got about $1 billion dividend. I mean, this is like it wants to go to zero. If I were looking, I don't trade this, but if I were, I'd be selling it at 105. CBS, Charlie Victor Sierra. Oh, that was that bad earnings too. That's pretty weak. I would be, if I were going to look at this, and I may look at it tomorrow as a trade. I might sell a put spread for a bounce, but it looks pretty weak right now. Okay, this looks pretty bad, right? It had a big gap down. This was certainly a potential buy spot. Now you couldn't have bought it there, but let's say you bought it right where it's at now. I mean, I could make this for a trade, but I'm not so hepped up on trying to buy this longer term. This looks like there's a bigger problem. Okay, this whole chart makeup looks like there's a bigger problem to this whole thing. Does that make sense? If you own it, it pays a good dividend. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to own it, but I don't know that I'd be jumping in right now to buy it. I hope that makes sense to you, my dear. Nice to see you as well. I haven't seen you for a while. So, but again, I wouldn't be jumping into to buy anything right now, but let alone a stock that looks like it wants to go down. Let's see what Walgreens is doing. WBA, Whiskey Bravo Alpha. Yeah, there's some weakness in the pharmaceutical sector. Okay. Again, 10 years from now, they'll probably all be up. But today, and what's going on with the insurance companies and everything else, there seems to be a little unhappiness in the world of pharmaceuticals. Okay. Pink. P-I-N-K. Oops. Is that the clothing brand, women's clothing, the kids' clothing shit? No. Simplify Healthcare. Okay. I'm in the pink. Looks okay. What's their dividend? How big is it? It looks okay. Doesn't look horrible. You know, I don't typically look at stocks that only have a 50-cent slider on the side. Okay, that means there's not that much movement. But it looks like it's got a dividend. Now let's see how big it is. Let's see if I would deem it worthwhile. I bet it's pretty big too. Let's see. Oh, I need a big 2%. Yeah. I mean, that's okay. I look, if you said I'm buying it at $25, I couldn't fault that. Okay. Looks okay. And again, it's hard to get excited about anything with what I think is going to happen with the markets, but certainly I couldn't fault you for saying, hey, I want to buy that or I own it. Looks okay. Blackstone again? That piece of shit. I hate those guys. I hope they blow up. They're taking over everything. Or is that BlackRock? I'm thinking of the wrong guys. And this looks fine. I mean, if you bought it at 95, I think it's legit. Okay, it looks fine. I mean, it had a little bit of a peak, but again, that double top to me is not as valuable as one that was in a downtrend. So I would certainly look at it. I mean, I couldn't have a problem owning it. PayPal, Papa Yankee, Papa Lima. Papa Yankee, Papa Lima. Yeah, I don't blame you for being short. So he wants to go to zero. And I got news for you. They're a shitty company too. They got horrible service. They're horrible at everything. But look, if I were in it, okay, if I were long it, I wouldn't be in. I'd be hedged it. But certainly you could look to sell this at 65 if it rises back up. It may fill this gap at some point, but right now I'd be a seller all day long until it shows me something different. And for you, Oxy, because I know you're going to ask me anyway, so I'm going to do it for you before I say goodbye. Looks pretty good. Coming up to a little resistance. Again, this is a very key area for this stock and for oil in general, right? Either it breaks out and turns into an uptrend, or it falls back down and stays in the consolidation or breaks to the downside. Starbucks, sure. I got time since I'm getting ready to go to Florida. Condolences call, Florida. Sierra Bravo Uniform X-Ray looks pretty weak. I hope they go to zero. Just personally, I hate that company. But personally, it looks pretty weak right now. But again, I would not be a seller here. It would have to either rally back to like 100 for me to sell it. Okay, or if I'm going to buy it, which I don't think I could buy because I don't think in good conscience I could ever buy these pieces of shit. But 90, I'd be looking for, probably. But I have a real bias against them. I can't stand getting ripped off for a cup of coffee. So in the meantime, just be careful. Again, you're not doing yourself a favor by being overly aggressive in these markets. You are not helping yourself by doing anything in these markets right now. What you're doing, if you get too involved here, is you're putting yourself at risk for no reason. Now, doesn't it make sense to lessen your risk when the markets aren't moving very much, when they're not giving you a lot of opportunities? Okay. All right. Anyways, have a great week, everybody. I'll be in Florida for 3 days. I got to work there. I got shit to do. And then I'll be flying back to Vegas Friday night. So everything is on normal schedule. You wouldn't know I was gone unless I told you. Have a great week, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Take care.